Because I think that relationships are made better when people are ready to be in them and not for people who are ready to have them.
Right. That's good.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense.
I think that for me, how do you know a person is your person? I would say sacrifice. The Bible says in Romans chapter 5, verse 8, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. So the way you know somebody is your person is that you're willing to make the sacrifice even if they haven't made the change. I hope y'all heard what I said. Because anybody who has to change in order for you to love them isn't your person. They are just a bridge until you get to the person. And I've found in my counseling over all these years, most people are not with their person, they're with bridges. Just somebody they climbing over till they get to the next spot. And that's why you're frustrated. And that's why you're shaky, right? Because every person that is your person, there is no way to love somebody without sacrifice. Let me just say that. If you're not sacrificing, it's not love. Love, by definition, means I have to sacrifice myself in order to do it. What did Jesus say? God so loved the world that he, okay? So you can't love without dying. That means that there is some part of your life that you are accustomed to that in order for you to be in a relationship has to die in order for you to have success. And death is hard to watch, but it is even more difficult to experience. So I believe that, and I let me say this too. You don't always fall in love at first sight. This is just, stop thinking that you're gonna meet your person, you're just gonna seem like, oh, and your eyes gonna start turning in circles. Some people in here are with people that they said they would never be with. And let me give you some advice. When you are looking for somebody, never look for somebody you can live with. Look for somebody you can't live without. You can live with anybody, but it's hard to live without the person that God has for you.
As he was saying that, I thought to myself, relationships are not hard. They're just hard with the wrong partner. I think a lot of times people struggle with the person that they're with. And it's probably because they're just with the wrong person. So this goes back to what he said in the beginning of the conversation, where he basically referred to mental readiness, emotional availability, and capacity. And I feel like adjustable women adjust. I've said this before. For example, Shawnee O'Neal was with Shaq. She lived a certain lifestyle. It didn't work out. And she got with a pastor. She adjusted to that lifestyle. We didn't know her in that world before. We saw her on Basketball Wives. We saw her sitting courtside. But for love, she adjusted to the man that she wanted to be with. So it's just, I guess, about that mental readiness. Everybody's not there. Some people really do just want to be with someone, anyone, and they have struggles in those relationships. That's it.
All right. We go to Luis and then Ramey.
Yeah, he did a really good job of breaking that down. I mean, one of the things that I just want to kind of highlight, I won't fly too long because I know a lot of people are hitting really good points, is that people understand that certain behaviors and certain things that need to die about them, that they know that there are compromises preventing them from being in a relationship, right? There are people who move in a particular type of way, conduct themselves in a particular type of way, right? That they know that there are inherent red flags and there are things that they haven't addressed or fixed, that there are a huge sacrifice for them to die in order for them to evolve into the type of person someone can love, right? And pour into. And unfortunately, that's a hard thing to do, because unfortunately a lot of people just are afraid to look in the mirror. That is the scariest thing that most people are afraid to do. Even I think they're more afraid of that than heights. Spiders behind their bed, right? And uh even death itself, because it's more of a moment of reflection for you to say to yourself, I've been doing wrong. I know I've been doing wrong, and I haven't even taken the right steps in order to correct myself, in order to give myself the opportunity or fighting chance perhaps to find someone to love me or to cherish and respect me in any capacity, right? And sort of those types of things you have to identify early on, and you have to course correct, and you have to kill those in order for that person to find you. I think a lot of people have found their person, whether it was at the shopping center or wherever the case may be, and because of whatever reason they're not mentally ready because they haven't addressed that person in the mirror. So that's all I got.
All right. We'll go to Ramy then, Biz.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people made really good points. I just want to, I guess, piggyback on what you just said, Louise, I'm sorry, excuse me. Love is in communication, though. That was last week. And sometimes I think we can look in the mirror ourselves and say, hey, why am I having this experience? I want to experience something different, or not. Um, but also amongst the people that we date or that are friends, like we say, communities, I think one of the biggest places that we can start making change is in our communities. Be around people who maybe you don't always have somebody to stop you and say, yo, this is something that I think you need to change, but you can see the results that a person is having. You can see, you know, oh, these people are doing what I want to experience. Let me go learn what that is. And I think because at first when I heard the clip, I wasn't feeling the whole sacrifice thing, and then how he turned it into, oh, God sacrificed his son. Like I wasn't feeling it at first, because I felt like love is not necessarily a sacrifice. If you're gonna, how do I say this? If I'm gaining something more and something old needs to die, that's because it wasn't working, it wasn't growing. I'm trading the bad in for the good, which sounds like a thing. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, love. But I do agree, as you guys have spoken. Um, I do agree that sometimes you have to get your ego out the way. You have to get your pride out the way to say, what am I experiencing? What level? Where do I want to go to experience something different? And sometimes it comes by way of our family and friends and people that we're dating one on one, and they can say, they can point, they can be a mirror for you too, and by what we're attracting, if that makes sense. Like if I'm constantly with somebody who is not doing the things, and I'm saying I want these standards to be met, and I'm steady dating or spending time in places that aren't giving me that, or I'm having turmoil, I think what Kelly said was right. We're not with people. You know what I'm saying? And it takes some self evaluation to be like, all right, let me get off this hamster wheel and do something different. But I think the big thing is in community, and being around people, like-minded people who are going where you want to go. And if that's with a polygamous group of people, go figure out who's doing that and making that work. If it's with married people, go figure that out. Talk to Hink some more. He married and happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do the things that's gonna work for you and your situation, I feel. And I don't believe that it's just women that's in their ego. I think people, parents, dads, people be in their ego. Women too, So, yeah.
All right. Let's go to Biz then, mistaken.